Almost 49% of homeowners nationwide are Latino, and it's projected to be 70% by 2040. The mission is to increase sustainable Hispanic homeownership by empowering the professionals who serve our community. A powerful network of bilingual lenders, homeowners insurance agents, Spanish-speaking inspectors, attorneys. And again, it's not just for the Latino professionals, it's anyone who wants to help sustain our homeownership.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today, my guest is Silvana Arraya-Shultz from Stellar Mortgage. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's truly an honor to be here.
And I also forgot, and not bearing the lead here, but you're also the president of the Philadelphia chapter of NARAP, right?
That's correct.
Great. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we get into all that, I always ask my guests to tell me, your story. You're a loan officer. How did you get started? How long have you been a loan officer?
So I have been a mortgage loan officer for almost 9 years now. But before it all began, I was a nutritionist and a Spanish medical interpreter at Penn Medicine and WIC. And 2 years in to my career, I got a phone call from my uncle who managed a mortgage company at J.G. Wentworth. And he saw something in me that I didn't, and he asked me to be a part of a mortgage academy. And after a lot of research, I took the leap of faith, and I made the transition into, not helping families with health anymore,
right,
but into, financial and generational wealth building.
Okay, great. Now, your book of business, what does that look like? Obviously, you're dealing with buyers, but are you dealing with a lot of Spanish-speaking buyers, or what does that mix look like?
So, pipeline changes depending on the market, and currently, I would say 80% of my pipeline is purchases with Latino families.
Okay, and now let's jump into that. And I was hoping. And I sort of knew you worked with a lot of Latinos. So the question I have for you is, what are the positives? And then we'll get into, what are some of the challenges that you may have, working with that community. So what are the positives?
Positives of working with a Latino family is that you create a relationship. It's building a relationship, creating a family. So, and it creates a ripple effect, because once I help like one family member, I end up helping an entire community.
Right. Yeah. And that's one thing I found, super loyal. They really appreciate that you helped them out, and they may have thought it was never possible. They didn't think it was achievable, so they're super grateful. So that is a wonderful thing, especially in the community.
They definitely appreciate the education and the guidance.
Right. Okay. And then challenges, because obviously dealing with people that English is their second language, or maybe they barely speak English. What are some of the challenges that you see?
I would say the challenge is that our culture really likes the face-to-face interaction. They like to build that trust face-to-face. So it comes to meeting them early in the morning, before going to work at 7 a.m., or even late night calls, just translating the documents just to make sure they get to the finish line.
Right. Yeah. And that is 100%. Like what I found, it was not only do they want to meet you face-to-face, and I'm turning around and saying, well, let me just ask you a couple qualifying questions first. Why waste the trip? But they tell you a story. It's not just like, oh, how long have you been at the job? They'll turn around and it'll be 10 minutes of explaining their journey of how they got to that job, whatever. It's just truly different of communication. Do you see the same type of thing?
It's exactly like that. And as I mentioned earlier, we are like family. So once we meet someone, we want to treat you like family. We want to get to know you, and if they like you and if that trust is built, they will naturally refer you to their loved ones.
Right. So yeah, it's super rewarding, but like, I mean, there are some, just little nuances that you have to, get used to that. And I just remember when like 30 years ago when I first started, you know, I took the heat on some of the things because they were like, no, you got to do this, you got to do that, and I'm like, now it's like, I know how they are, Yeah,
Where they're at,
exactly,
literally.
yeah. So it's really great. Now,
Are you thinking about buying, refinancing, or investing in real estate? I've been a loan officer for 30 years, helping my clients find the right loan for the right property. I keep it simple and honest. If you want real numbers and guidance you can trust, give me a call. Now let's get back to the show.
Now there's some statistics, right? With Latinos on percentages of buying. I know they're a really strong first-time home buyer. Like they make a strong percentage of first-time home buyers, that kind of thing.
This gets me so excited because 49 to almost 49% of homeowners nationwide are Latino, and it's projected to be 70% by 2040. So if you are not hip to the Latino community, now is the time.
Right. Like I saw a statistic very similar to what you mentioned, that the new home buyers or buyers period in general, the vast majority are, the Latinos, or not vast majority, but a super strong majority. And that's really pushing the needle of sales. Without that, the sales would really be low. So absolutely. So if you don't speak Spanish, you may want to learn how to speak Spanish.
Sí, aprende el español rápido.
Right. Okay, so let's jump into the Philadelphia chapter, NAHREP. How did that start? What's the mission with it? And I was kind of surprised that it's a new chapter. I believe there was an older chapter and then it fell apart or whatever, and now a new chapter, which with a lot of Latinos in the Philadelphia area, I was really surprised. So, but tell us the story and the mission for that.
So we have been so blessed to have this chapter now for a year, since April of 2025. So go us. The mission is to increase sustainable Hispanic homeownership by empowering the professionals who serve our community.
Okay, and now full disclosure, I'm a member. So, what are some of the reasons why somebody would join, the association?
Becoming a member of NARAP Philadelphia is truly becoming a part, something bigger than yourself. You are a part of a powerful network. It's, education, networking, building generational wealth and community impact.
Okay, and there's a lot of events. Like I was honored up at King of Prussia to be on a panel and speaking, to a group of people who were there. And I also know there's a workshop, going on April 9th, which by the time this airs, it'll be, maybe past. But like, how many events and what are the goals of the events that are done?
So becoming part of a member, you are able to attend national events. And that is my favorite part because it literally puts you in a room of leaders who are shaping the industry. And we gather all that information and bring it back to Philadelphia and share it with our members and the professionals. And locally, we have 4 major events with Philadelphia. They're all centered around education, networking, building generational wealth, anywhere from business growth to production, and we do these events to enhance and elevate our professionals and again community.
Right, and you guys were at the Real Estate Symposium. There was like 300 people in the room. You guys had a table there. The King of Prussia event
Yes.
there. Where's the, on April 9th, where's that going to be at?
The April 9th event is going to be in Esperanza.
Esperanza. I was thinking Progreso, but Esperanza, right.
Yes.
So you're going to have an event there. And how many more events, throughout the year do you guys plan on doing?
We plan on having 2 more events, one in August and one in October.
Okay. And then there could be some happy hours mixed in between, they won't be the major stuff, but some small stuff.
And, any events that you invite us to, we're happy to join.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to do a couple happy hour events, so we'll be there. So that's great. And now, how many members are in the chapter?
We have over 160 members currently in the Philadelphia chapter, which is amazing, just the growth in the past year. And nationally, we have over 68,000 members, and there's over 100 chapters nationwide.
Right.
So NAHREP is very powerful.
Right. And guess what? 160 plus. I mean, that's pretty good for 1 year. Right?
Yes.
Right. Now, what is that mix? Is it mostly realtors, loan officers, title companies, or is it just a mixture of all real estate professionals?
Again, it's a powerful network full of bilingual lenders, homeowners insurance agents, Spanish-speaking inspectors, attorneys, you name it.
So it's just a mixed bag?
Yes.
Okay,
very
great.
helpful.
There you go. Okay, so super excited. I had I guess the first year,
Pacho.
Pacho. What am I? Jose. Right. I had him on. I guess right after the chapter opened on there. So it's amazing the growth. And rumor has it, it's because you're the new president now that all this growth happened. Under Jose, it was no good. He was great.
He's great. He was a veteran, super loyal, man of his word, and it all stemmed from me attending a national conference in Miami, where I was in a room full of people just like me, Latino professionals, and I come from the suburbs of Chester County, so I don't really get that.
Right.
So my mind was blown. I fell in love right away, and as soon as I came back home, I was like, I want to sign up. Where's the Philadelphia chapter?
Right.
And there was no Philadelphia chapter, so I was like, this is something I believe in. This is something that can help, my family and make an impact in our Latino community. And again, it's not just for the Latino professionals, it's anyone who wants to help sustain our homeownership.
Okay, so if somebody wants to get a hold of you, let's say they have a loan that needs to get done, let's say they want to join the chapter, how would they do that?
They can call me directly on my cell phone. I know that sounds crazy to say, but that's what sets me apart from other loan officers or maybe other chapters is I'm all about, picking up calls and communication.
Okay, and we'll put the phone number on up on the screen so everybody will be able to see that if they want to get a hold of you.
Yes,
okay?
And if, you don't want to know much too about it, you're like, hey, I just want to join now, you can go to nahrep.org/join and choose the Philadelphia chapter. And again, if you are not in the Philadelphia area, there are other states you can choose from.
Right. Super important. If you're in the Philadelphia area, the Philadelphia chapter, you don't want to be in like LA or something.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on the show. Really appreciate it and just sharing your story, your background, and also NARAP story as well. So truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And again, it's an honor to be here. And, Latinos, we stick together.
There you go. Okay, well, that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Instagram. And, of course, this will be airing on YouTube, the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez on YouTube. Be sure to put some likes, some comments. The likes really help me out, help the algorithm. I'm almost at 50,000 subscribers, so get me over the top. The goal is 50,000. Help me out there. And once again, hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.